Eddie, thank you for joining us again. How's it feel to be back in Singapore competing now?
Excellent, man. I always did well as a tournament fighter. Back in the day in 2005, 2006, just when Dream was doing her lightweight Grand Prix or Bellator or whatever. I always did well in tournaments. I don't even know if I ever lost a tournament fight. So to get turned over, I'm able to add to everything that I did during my camp. I'm able to add to it. I'm faster. I'm stronger. My timing is better. I just think staying more active for me, it's not something I like to do. I like to fight and then go home to my family and vacation and do what I want. But I know it's a necessary evil if I want to compete at my highest level.
Now, the result of this DQ review is out. It's now been changed to a no contest. Are you happy with that decision?
Yeah, I'm happy. I'm happy with the no contest. I mean, it's the most I can ask for sure.
First one's going to be from Dylan Bowker of My MMA News. Dylan, please go ahead.
I was curious with the relief that I presume is coming from this outcome change, coupled with the fact that you got to compete earlier this month. Could we see the most composed yet also capably violent Eddie Alvarez we've seen in the one circle?
Capably violent. I love the ring of that. Yeah, I'm relaxed, man. I'm confident. My training has been like probably some of the best training, and I'm competing at the highest level that I've competed at in a long time. So I'm very happy, very confident going in this fight, and looking forward to how I'm going to perform. Every fight's different. Every opponent's different, but I have high expectations of myself here.
And just a quick follow-up to that point, I'm curious your level of familiarity with your opponent, Ok Rae Yoon, as you again enter the one circle here.
Yeah, very tough fighter, very good jab, leg kicks, long, rangy, good boxing, good movement. I'm looking forward to a battle. He's game. I think he's a lot more game than a lot of the other fighters on this roster. I think he's willing to hang in there and fight it out to the end. And I respect that. I actually have really good fights with guys like that. It always takes the right dance partner to put on a great fight. And I think Oak is, I think he's the right dance partner to get it done.
Our next question will go to Jay Anderson of Cage Side Press.
I know a lot has been made of that DQ, but I want to ask one more question about it. If that DQ doesn't happen at One on TNT 1, is Eddie Alvarez fighting this week?
Oh, wow. That's a great question. Yeah. The answer to that is yes. Yeah, I think so. I think I presented this opportunity that I was presented to come back, to stay active, to take advantage of. I had almost 2 and 3 camps that I missed that got canceled because of COVID. So it was important to make up as many fights as I could in a short amount of time. I missed a lot of fights. I was a year and a half off. And I went to the gym. I own my craft. I innovated. I worked on some things and got better at some things. And I think not staying active would have been a disservice to me. So they gave me an opportunity to be active. They gave me an opportunity to come back and compete against one of the top guys in the division. And it's an opportunity that I needed to take advantage of.
Good stuff. And I know you're not going to look past your opponent here, but there's another fighter on this card that has been on quite a run recently who you've got history with, and that's Shinya Aoki. Would you be open to a rubber match with him down the line?
Yeah, whatever. I'm really fixated. I feel like Aoki's, to me, it's in the past. I feel like he beat me very early on in my career. When he did beat me, it was very early on. I didn't know anything. And when we did finally rematch, when I was a full-fledged MMA fighter and I was well-rounded, I beat him pretty quickly. So I don't feel the need to kind of beat Shinya Aoki to put it to rest. But if the trilogy match happens and the fans want it, then it happens. But it's not something that I necessarily care for or want or need. My eyes on Christian Lee. That's my eyes on the prize. He has the belt, and that's who I'm lasered in on.
And last one for me, with that in mind, what are your thoughts on Christian Lee's performance earlier this month against Timothy Nashukin?
It was excellent. Great hook. He got his head off. He threw the hook, landed clean, put Timothy away. And Christian Lee kind of never ceased to amaze me. He goes out, he puts on phenomenal performances. And I'm just wondering when we're going to fight. He says my name after fights all the time. I want to fight Eddie Alvarez. I'm saying I want to fight him. I don't know what's going on in between, but a fight needs to happen. And I don't care who he beats in the division. He has the opportunity to beat someone who's great. And I've done great things, and I've beat champions all over the world for almost 2 decades. And if he don't fight me, he'll be losing an opportunity to do something great.
Our next question goes to Jason Burgos of mixedmartialarts.com.
Our plans for, there's a big story a couple weeks ago. Our plans for this fight with Oscar De La Hoya in July for Triller, is that still being negotiated? Is it finalized? Is it a dead issue? What's the latest with that?
I would say it's a dead issue for right now. Honestly, the whole boxing MMA thing, when I watched it with Ben and basically what I watched was a bunch of MMA fighters in the realm of boxing who had the heart, the courage, and were able to, have the humility to put themselves on the line in form and skill that they're not professionals in, and go and put it out there. I have yet to see a boxer come and do that in the MMA realm. And it's kind of bothering me, and it put me off. I'd like to see the courage on the boxing side for a guy to step in the MMA realm. And I felt like when we were saying yes to the Oscar thing, I felt like maybe I was making a decision too quickly. That I just feel like this is my sport. This is what I've done my whole life. And if you want a real fight, this is a fight. MMA is a fight. Boxing is a fifth of what we do. It's a part of it. It's not a fight. It's boxing. It's not a fight. MMA is a fight. It's everything. So whoever beat Ben Askren, whoever beat Frank Mir, they didn't beat him in a fight. They beat him in boxing.
I plan to ask Chatri about it too, but would you be interested if something like that happened in like the one cage, maybe under some special rules, which one has done, maybe like you're not allowed to kick, but if Oscar is willing to fight you in a cage, would that be more what you want?
Me and Chachi can sit down and iron out the details, and I just I don't know. I have pride in what I do, and I've been doing this for a long time, and I feel like it's going to take a lot for me to give that up, to sell my skin in boxing, and be outmatched and go in there. The whole event put me off, and it just looked like boxing 101. And that's what boxing has come to. It's a bunch of really good, talented guys fighting guys who are subpar. And they build up a subpar guy to look half decent just so a guy who outclasses them and matches them could look like a champion. MMA, the best fight the best. That's why this sport is so great. That's what makes this sport so great. It's what boxing used to be and no longer is. So sorry, it just gets me fired up seeing that event, and then seeing these boxers act like tough guys and act like they're winning fights. They're not winning fights. They're winning boxing matches. MMA is a fight. If you want to call yourself a better fighter and say you want to fight, step inside a cage and do all skill sets, every single skill set.
And I agree 1,000%. Just one last question. And that whole negotiation opened up an interesting conversation. I know one gave you a great contract. That's why you left UFC. Is that part of your deal? You are allowed to go do boxing and those kind of things outside of one, maybe with their approval, maybe not?
I just think under Chatri, we have more of a partnership. Me and him talk. I sit down with Chatri and we can strategize and talk. It's a win-win situation for us both. We're in business together. It's not like I don't feel like it's a dictatorship where it's like, this is who I am and you're going to do this and sit down. And I know everything's a simple conversation. And when the CEO of the organization is willing to have a conversation with you, willing to sit down and talk. It just feels better. And I think more gets done. More gets done for the organization and more gets done for the fighters.
Our next question will go to Damon Martin of MMA Fighting. Damon Martin, please proceed.
Eddie, I know there was a lot of emotions coming out of the last fight, and I know you were talking to One Championship. Were you confident pretty much all along that they were going to make the right decision and overturn that? I know you wanted to win, but at least getting a no contest with what happened the last time.
No, I can't say I was confident. You know, I was going back and forth. I was confident that the overall crowd believed that it shouldn't have been a DQ. So that made me be hopeful that that also the panel that was reviewing my DQ would see that, or at least hear the voices, like the overwhelming voices, and not just fans, because fans could sometimes not know what they're talking about, but, you know, professionals, referees, and people who are well respected in the game, like, hear out their opinions. So that made me hopeful, but can't say I was totally confident. I didn't know, I wasn't sure exactly who was reviewing it or, you know, what they were looking at. So, you know, I've been blessed. I've been happy that they considered my review and they sat down and they took it as serious as I take my career. I take my career very serious. I take my my performances very serious. And I'm glad that the panel sat down and considered it the same way I do. And they took it dead serious and they reviewed it. And it's not important that things get messed up sometimes. It's important that we can sit back and reassess and say, all right, maybe there was a little mess up here and we can do better. And I've done that in my career and everybody can do it. I think it would make the sport a lot better.
With that being said, Eddie, you know, obviously this was a decision made by One Championship. You've dealt with American commissions a lot throughout your career, and you know how hard it is to get anything overturned in America. A referee makes the wrong call. We've never, hardly ever seen that actually change in a fight. Is there any part of you that's happy that you had an organization that was willing to at least, you know, take the time to review this and actually put a panel to work to do it? Because we got to be honest, if this happened in the United States, chances are it wouldn't have been overturned.
Yeah, I don't know. I personally never dealt with the United States. And like I said, I'm blessed that it went to a board, it got reviewed, and that they considered it as deeply as I consider my career. Stuff like that, that small gesture, or them looking that over and saying, let's take this serious, let's sit down and review this, and let's hear everyone out, all the professionals out. And you know, I'm just thankful. I'm truly thankful that, you know, I'm in an organization that would consider that.
And last one for me, Eddie, you know, you mentioned, of course, the eventual showdown with Christian Lee. We said it after the last one, you know, even the way the fight ended, I think it would have been okay for you to move right into the fight with Christian Lee. But if everything goes well this week, I mean, rankings, all those kind of things aside, considering the career you put together, the resume you have, does it just make sense if you win on Wednesday night that you get Christian Lee next? I mean, is that just the way it should go?
I mean, the fans will speak for themselves, but I mean, at that point, I would have, Edward Fuliang was a former champ. I dispatched to him in a minute and a half. The number 2 guy I just put away in 30 seconds. And then who knows how this fight's going to go, but I have every expectation of beating another top ranked guy. And what else do you want? I mean, at this point, Christian Lee has an opportunity to fight me. My opportunity isn't to fight Christian Lee. I beat 100 guys like Christian Lee already. Christian Lee has an opportunity to beat someone who's great. If he don't take advantage of that, or is not foaming out the mouth at that, then it'll be his own loss. It won't be mine. I've beat great people already. I've beat tons of great men already who've conquered many of other men. And my legacy will be etched in stone. Christian Lee has an opportunity at that. And he may lose it. Maybe he'll lose that opportunity. Maybe I won't give it to him.
Our next question will go to Leon Jennings of Asian Persuasion MMA.
After an emotional month full of roller coasters and tens of thousands of miles flown, how are you feeling right now? And are there any positives you can take from the whole situation at 1 on TNT 1?
A ton of positives, man. I'm back here, right? And everything's dust in the wind. They've reviewed it. Today was a very good day. Them announcing that, me and my family spoke on the phone. It was a rejoicing. It was a celebration for us, and I'm just thankful. I'm thankful to be with an organization that would consider the review, would sit down and listen to professionals and listen to the fans and listen to everybody out there who's involved and say, hey, maybe we could do some things better and corrected some things. I'm just thankful. I couldn't be happier today.
After Christian won, he beat Nashukin, I spoke to him. He's due to have a baby any minute now. He said he probably won't fight towards the end of the year. Would you take a fight in between this if you get the win on Wednesday night? And if so, would you consider fighting Lapicus again if he's fit to fight in between?
Maybe so. I don't know. Maybe I'll have another baby.
Last, quickly, how do you see the main event going between Ong Lao Song and Winnie de Ridder?
Oh, I got to go with my man Ong. Ong's battle tested, man. He's a warrior. And I love him. He has a heart of gold, and he has a warrior spirit. So can never bet against Ong.
Up next will be Tom Taylor of Bleacher Report.
Obviously, this is, kind of unusual circumstances for a fight. But how much training have you actually been able to do between that fight with Yuri and this fight this coming week? I mean, can you kind of describe this compacted little training camp you've had for us?
See my eye?
Looking good.
As soon as I landed from Singapore, I got right to work, man. I didn't waste any time. I got two. We went from Singapore. I got back home. I think I got back home Sunday morning on JFK. I enjoyed the day with my family. I think I did go running on Sunday night, regardless. And then I spoke with my wife about the possibility of coming back here. I spoke with One Championship and seeing if it was going to happen, the reality of it. And I think within a few days, we ironed it out and figured it out. And I was sparring that Tuesday. So I didn't miss. I don't think I missed a single training session.
Awesome. Looking a little further down the road, you've mentioned, many times that your goal is to win the one lightweight title and find a space for that between the Bellator and UFC titles on your mantle. That would be an amazing feat. But I mean, if you accomplish that, what's next? How do you possibly one up that? What's the next goal beyond that?
I mean, when I accomplish that, like Thanos, I am inevitable. I'll get the last stone and I'll defend it. It's that simple. I don't make too many plans too far out. I join organizations and I want to be the champion. I get fixated on it and I make my goal. I don't make a plan B or plan C. I'm not that. I make one plan and I make sure that I focus on that and that I get to it. So I win the one lightweight title. I defend the title. And then who knows? Then maybe one will have super fights. There's plenty of guys, killers in this division, up and coming guys, and guys that are already here to defend the belt against. I just think just being the reigning lightweight champion of One Championship.
Next question goes to Jack Gottsell of Tarpsoft Sports.
So you just said you plan to accomplish the ultimate feat of winning the one championship, but would that be the toughest championship you've won? I know you've won the UFC, you've won Bellator, but you've gone through so much, the travel from the US to Singapore, the disqualification. Does all that make this so much more special for you, or?
I just think it's where I'm at in my life that makes it the most difficult title to win. I've been in this sport almost 2 decades. It's very easy when you're young to be excited about a sport, to be a champion and get up early and go to bed late. But I had an unbalanced life when I was younger. So it was easy for me to just go after it and focus on that. But I have 4 children at home, a lovely wife. financially, I do not have to fight. I can do whatever I want. I have a great balanced life outside of fighting. Fighting is something I do. I don't have to fight anymore in my life. So I'm at a really good place. And to choose to do this and to choose to go after these kids who were where I was at when I was 25, 27, full of energy and full of hope and dreams. I'm competing with the best guys in the world right now, the youngest, the toughest, the hungriest in the world at one championship. And I'm beating them, and I'm beating them soundly. So to go after this and to win this title will be the hardest title that I've ever won. Yes.
Our next question goes to Darnell Giovanni of MMA Island.
I know you trained with Kamaru Usman over there in Colorado. Were you able to watch his fight on Saturday? And were you surprised at the what happened between him and Masvidal?
So I was only able to see the replay because I was on the plane. I only got to see like the prelims and stuff like that when I was in the airport, but I got on the plane. I wasn't able to see the fight in its entirety yet. I just seen the highlights, and I couldn't be more proud of Kamaru. He's the epitome of a professional. He takes the sport dead serious. He crosses T's, dots his I's, and he married this game. He married this sport, and he's dedicated to it fully. And just being with him in Colorado and being with him over the years and seeing the work he's put in and the things that he had to overcome throughout. He's been in some dark places throughout his career where, and I've been there as well, where you're kind of looking the other way and saying, what are my other options? Because fighting's not kind of giving back what I'm putting in. And as athletes, that happens to us. But man, to see him overcome everything and now to see him to be the dominant champion, pound for pound best in the world, it's incredible. It's incredible.
That's awesome, Eddie. And just want to ask you one last question. Of course, you are a guy who likes to talk about stocks. Would you ever consider writing a book, maybe doing a YouTube channel to explain all the investments you make?
Yeah. So that's a passion of mine that I get really excited about. And it's not just stocks, it's investing in general, real estate, cryptocurrency. I have a number of different investments and lines in the water that I have outside of fighting where I'm able to make money, and just learning about new ways to create a dollar is fun for me. But I believe me and a friend are going to start like a registered investment agency and maybe do something for athletes and fighters as far as being able to invest their money, being able to make a return on their money, and then doing something educational where they can learn about how money works and just the idea of investing it. So like that, I think something would be fun for me. It'll be a chance for me to kind of, I say to everyone, all my friends, that it's better to eat with your friends, and just saying it's fun to make money for me. But when you do it with a bunch of friends and you do it at a table together, it amplifies it, makes it a lot better. So if I could take a community, whether it's MMA fighters or people that I know work really hard for their money, and help them grow it, I think that'll be a passion project for me that I'd enjoy.
Awesome, Eddie. And last one for me. I know you said the wife is loving the beard. How much longer are we going to keep it?
This might be full time, man. I don't know. This is a little scruffy. I need to trim it up a little bit. But yeah, I think mustache Eddie's going to be here for a while.
The next question will go to Jacob Janowski of Bloody Canvas MMA.
All right, so you're traveling over about 30,000 miles there, back and back again. How do you think the time zone change will affect you?
I think I'm so locked in and so focused. I could not sleep for the next 32 hours and go out, walk down that tunnel and walk in that cage and be absolutely as violent as I would be on beautiful 8 hours of sleep every night. I'm locked in, I'm focused, and I'm here to fight. And that's why I came back, because I'm in a groove in my training. I'm in a groove in my mind, and I want to fight. And I haven't felt this way. I don't know. I haven't felt this way in a little while about fighting and about wanting to compete, and not just fearing the idea of being in front of a crowd and and what if this happens or what if that happens. I actually want to compete and I want to get after someone. So and I think the wear and tear shows it. So I'm excited.
And having already fought in the morning 3 weeks ago, do you think that you'll now have an advantage, or do you feel better about fighting in the morning now?
I spar in the morning at home. So that's like the time we fight here, we're fighting on American time, roughly 10 o'clock at night, 9 o'clock at night. So the times don't change for me. Since I've been in Singapore, I wake up at night. When everyone's going to bed, I'm waking up and I'm up all night long in my hotel room. I'm staying on US time. I'm not changing to Singapore time. I'm keeping my US wake up and I'm keeping my US time frame.
And now, having been with ONE for a couple of years, what impact has ONE championship had on you as a person?
So as a person, I just think just Asia in general, when I fought over here in 2006, met the fans and understood the culture of fighting here, which is a lot different than America. I don't think in America, I think the result of the fight is everything. Win or lose is everything. And oftentimes fighters get booed. Although they're courageous, although they put everything on the line, they get booed and they feel bad about themselves, about what they did. And the truth is, in Asia, they look at it a lot differently. They applaud the courage of the fighter just for making the walk, for competing at a high level and fighting with a strong spirit. That's what's applauded. It's not so much the win or the loss. It's how you fight and the manner you fight in, the spirit you fight in. And that's just who I am. And that's what I would want to be commended for me, because I'd want to be commended off my effort and my effort that I gave and who I competed against.
That's all the time we have. Thank you so much, Eddie, for your time. All the best.